It's Rick Neuheisel, former college coach, now works for CBS Sports. He was at the national title game. He joins us on the program. What did you expect before the start of this game?
I expected exactly what the first half gave us, which was a Buckeye kind of one-sided affair. I thought the Buckeye defense, which had been outstanding much of the season, even going back to the Michigan game, would have their way. And because Will Howard and this receiver crew had been unlocked during the playoffs, averaging over 300 yards a game, I thought that would be too much for the largely playing man defense of Notre Dame.
You know, when Marcus Freeman comes out to start the second half, he looks like a guy who is out in the water and there's a big wave coming just to take him under. What is that feeling like when you're holding on for dear life?
Well, I mean, he had to take some shots, and it was amazing that Jalen Greathouse had the same kind of second half he did. Riley Leonard, 17 to 22 in the second half, over 200 yards. I mean, where was that? They really hadn't needed that portion of their offense much of the season, and yet there it was when they summoned it. And you just kind of wonder, Greathouse, who had over 100 yards receiving in both the last two games, that's amazing that he wasn't more utilized over the course of the year.
How did Notre Dame make it interesting?
With Greathouse and Mitchell Evans, and guys rose to the occasion. Couple of great 2-point plays. I mean, this was a well-coached football team. They got everything out of this team all season long. It's a unique Notre Dame team because you don't remember Notre Dame teams with 6-year players and a bunch of transfers. That's not normal for Notre Dame, who in the days of Lou Holtz and Dan Devine, you've got 4 years to play and then you matriculated on. They've grown into the college football scene, how it's being played now, and I think they got everything out of this team. I think everybody left the stadium last night kind of happy with the way their team played.
After Ohio State lost to Michigan, I wondered on that Monday, without this 12-team playoff, would he have kept his job? And now, obviously, he's going to keep his job, but I wonder what this 12-team playoff does to the rivalry with Michigan moving forward. That it used to be if you lost that game, you lost any hope to win a national championship.
That rivalry is so ingrained in the culture of those two states that I don't think anything is going to go away in that rivalry. Michigan, feels like, hey, we beat the national champs. We were the national champs. It's the first time, Dan, since the Big Ten won back-to-back national championships since, I think, 65 and 66. That's an incredible thing for Tony Petitti, for the Big Ten. But if you're asking Ohio State fans and Michigan fans if that game's going to go any way closer to diminishing in importance, no way, no chance.
Talking to Rick Neuheisel. He was there last night, joining us from Atlanta, the national title game. If I said you could have Jeremiah Smith or Travis Hunter.
Ooh, that's a good one. I think Jeremiah Smith beats Travis Hunter if they play head-to-head. If you put Travis Hunter out there at corner, just because even if Travis Hunter can stay with him, Jeremiah Smith's size allows him to make the play. He's a unique athlete. I watched him walking around in the lobby at the hotel here, and just that is a man in a very young body that is. I mean, he's a tough out. And listen, Notre Dame with that third down right there had to play man. They had to come after him. That was the down that gave them their only chance, and it wasn't an accident that Will Howard went to number 4.
What happens in the offseason with college football?
Great question. I think that they're going to get closer and closer. I keep wanting for collective bargaining, but when I ask the question to those who really can make things happen in college football, they say collectively bargain with who? Do the players really get benefit from assembling and unionizing and becoming an organization? All they're going to do is lose things in that regard rather than gain things. So I think we're going to get closer to contracts, some employment relationship with the with the student athletes, and I think hopefully we'll get there sooner than later so we can get our arms around it. We've got to solve getting to the finish line with both coaches and players intact. We've got to solve this transfer portal thing. This kid leaving from Wisconsin to Miami and saying, I don't need to be in the portal, throws a whole wrench into that conversation. And then we've got to make sure that in my estimation, that we hang on to the entirety of Division One rather than try to keep leaning towards this super conference that a lot of private money's trying to influence.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen, Rick. I think it's money. They're just looking at it.
Yeah.
All of this is money. That's why we went to a 12 team. That's why we'll go to 14, and in probably 6 or 7 years we'll go to 16 teams.
Well, the fact that all 4 teams with a bye lost, we might go to 16 sooner than later, given the fact it didn't look like an advantage. As the old man said to the young man, the answer is money. Now, what was the question? You're exactly right on that super conference. I just would like everybody to look at themselves in the mirror and say, is this what we had intended when we started college football, which was supposed to be about enhancing the education of young people? And if we actually eliminate scholarships because there are a number of programs that can't participate because we just say only these many are television darlings, what have we done? And I think if we borrow a little bit of the European soccer model with some relegation and promotion, you can give the little guys some access. You can give the big guys some incentive, and you can create more television drama, which obviously resonates with the czars of television, because college football right now is the number 2 television draw in America. NFL being 1, college football being 2, and the other professional leagues behind them, and really not close. So I would argue that there's a way to preserve what we have in college football, and most importantly, preserve all those scholarships.
More likely to coach in the NFL, Marcus Freeman or Ryan Day?
Great question. I think my answer right now is Ryan Day, but Marcus Freeman is a rock star. There's no getting around that. He's a rock star. It was a marvelous job at Notre Dame. He's going to look and keep pushing the envelope with Pete Bavacqua, the new AD, and try to say, how can we get more guys that look like those guys in the white last night.
Great to talk to you as always. Have a great offseason, Rick. Thanks for joining us.
DP, it's always a pleasure. Happy New Year, my brother.